My name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek TV at Gen Con 2013. I'm sitting down with Ben Harkins. Sorry, I almost flubbed your name there. And you have brought us, as some people might certainly recognize this box already, Legacy Gears of Time. But you really came here to show us the expansion. Is this the first expansion for Legacy?
Is.
Yeah, Legacy Forbidden Machine.
Yes.
So as we were talking about just before, we're going to assume people know how to play Legacy, because if you don't, there's this mysterious web page that might possibly have lots of knowledge about the original Legacy that just maybe you could go find some stuff about it. I'm just saying.
Definitely.
All right, Ben, why don't you just tell us what Forbidden Machines, we're going to leave that little box up here, is going to add to original Legacy here.
Sure. So the story of Legacy continues where the
saga continues.
the Antiquitex, the time travelers.
I love that word. I could listen to that word all day.
Thank you. The Antiquitex are needing to travel back in time to create the Forbidden Machines. They're powerful contraptions that they were sworn to never create in order to be able to maintain the timeline. So,
do you find that in explaining this, you just want to go bum bum bum
yes.
a lot? Because I'm feeling that this is a very thrilling explanation already.
I need background music.
I know. Well, not the that we're getting in the back. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
No. It's fine. It's fine. So unlike a traditional expansion,
we'll just lay that right there.
Oh, great. So this is the tech tree from the base game, and unlike a traditional expansion where new cards are sort of injected into the existing cards, we actually created a whole new tech tree. It's sort of like a new map in a map-oriented game or something like that. And we created all new sort of steampunk fantasy-oriented technologies to fit the flavor of the Antiquitex traveling back in time to establish these technologies. So you can see there's all sorts of interesting names and
Focus
cool art
Beam,
here.
Gearcraft Time Jar. Ooh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Destiny Grafters. Oh.
Definitely. So in addition to creating the whole new tech tree here, we've added 2 new abilities to these cards. Previously, when you were establishing technologies, they were sort of one and done when they were on the board. They served as dependencies for other technologies. Well, that's still in the game, but now when you establish technologies, you'll gain special abilities, like for glyph writing, for instance. When you establish it, you'll just draw 2 cards, or the time jar, as you
look at that! I didn't even realize that was one of your cards. Yeah, prepped.
When you establish the time jar, you're allowed to travel to the past any number of time frames. Or additionally, you may discard another card and travel to the future by 1 time frame, which is normally not allowed during the round. So these start to give you a little boost to hatching your time travel plans.
Now, were you able to get the same artist who did the stuff for Original Legacy? Because that looks like it fits pretty seamlessly into...
I was, and I was very fortunate to work with him. His name's Steve Maggart. He's from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And he does a fantastic job, and he's a perfectionist, which is always appreciated.
I know that, and this is a style I can't say I've really... It seems new and fresh. It's not really reminiscent of anything else. Yeah, it's really dynamic.
Thank you. In addition to the when established abilities, we introduced a new activation mechanic. So now, when the time travelers are traveling back in time, if they have the most influence over a technology, they can perform an activation, and they give you repeatable in-game effects. The simple ones on the fundamental technologies, like discarding a card to draw a new card, sort of help refine your hand and get you the cards that you need. There's some straightforward ones like gem cutting, for instance, just gains you a legacy point on the scoring track, and then they start to get more and more advanced. This one's called Storm Auger. It's like a giant electrified storm drill, and you discard 2 or more cards and just drill through the deck looking for specific cards, which is pretty fun. This one we're really excited about. It's called Season Splicer, and this lets you add what's called the spliced time frame marker to the edge of the game board, where previously you couldn't travel any further back in time than here, but now there's even more time frames to travel back to.
Oh, kind of like this before the start of the universe sort of thing.
Exactly.
Oh, and I like a nice touch of it. I actually, this might not be visible in camera, but actually connects to the end of the artwork on it, so it really dovetails right off the edge of the board there.
Yeah, I tried to create as seamless of an experience with the expansion to the base game as possible. So yeah, there's all sorts of new technologies, and the extra layer of adding the new abilities really takes the game to another level, I feel, where people were really enjoying the complexity of the interactions between the technologies, but they wanted to be able to get a little more creative with how they went about besting their foes.
Does this add any time to the overall play length?
A little bit. The extra analysis of the new options that you have available does add a little bit, but by the time someone's playing the expansion, they're usually pretty familiar with the general mechanisms of the game, such that scoring and just knowing what depends on what is pretty natural by that time.
And does it add any extra players, or is it still the same as with the original Legacy?
No, we're still 2 to 4 players. Yeah.
All right, well, Ben, thank you so much for bringing by and showing us Forbidden Machines
You bet.
for
Thank
Legacy.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.